In the name of Amen, the Supreme, the All-Powerful, the one and only true Lord, and Amen we trust as the Republic of Intellect, the real 144,000 is being gathered in this day and time, the Mentallectuals. Amen to all of my Mentallectual brothers and sisters out there, registered members of the Republic of Intellect, and to all future Mentallectuals that get to find their way home to the Republic of Intellect, which is Amen's community. I send greetings out to you, and I send peace out to you, and Amenic language by saying to you, Aminun. Good evening, I'm your host, the intellectual NUBEN MENKARAYZZ, and this is Intellect Radio. Tonight we're going to be discussing why it will take more concentration to produce greater children going forward. We're starting off at a disadvantage coming out of this whole mindset as black people. We're starting off at a big disadvantage. Reason being is because the mass majority of our people grew up in a home where there was no law, no order, and no structure. No father in the home. So a mother had to struggle with what she had in order to raise her children. All right, she had to struggle to raise her children. And trying to be some semblance of guardian, parent to a child, and being ill-equipped to be that, especially when it comes to a boy child, we're already starting off at a disadvantage because, as I said before, the foundation of any child's life is going to be ultimately successful, right? Will have to require the participation of both mother and father together in the home, collectively working to raise the children. You see, the children need to see that family structure. So therefore, they know that they have to, in turn, repeat that family structure. They think about, as they're going forward, getting girls pregnant, young boys, young guys. They think, before they get a young girl pregnant, right? Because they know when they get a young girl pregnant what that means. They know what comes with that. What comes with that is family and responsibility. And a lot of these young guys, they don't want no responsibility, and they don't really want no family. They just want to have a good time. They just want to have sex. All right? So when you're making children based in that irresponsible, illogical, and short-sighted way of doing things, you're going to produce children who are not advanced in their thinking. And as we're going forward into the fourth dimension, children who are mediocre and average won't cut it. They will not cut it. Producing children that are just mediocre and average and don't have no real focus, no real direction, no ability to be decisive in their lives will not cut it going forward. Our people always talk about we want to raise our children the best. We want to raise the best children, but then you're not giving them an example to go by. If you start off, especially you women, if you start off being indecisive, right, and you are not particular when it comes to who you lay down with and who you make children with, it's going to slow down the regeneration process of our bloodline and our seed. It's going to slow it down. If you only getting with a guy because he cute, or he look good, or he light-skinned, or he dark-skinned, whatever stupid, or his hair look this way, stupid stuff like that, you're not going to produce greater children from that. Don't even look to do that. Because already the mother who's going to carry this child for 9 months, her mind is already screwed up. Her mind is screwed up. If she's looking to think more about herself and how she feels as opposed to her child, because once you have a child, you're supposed to put your children first. There ain't no more you. There's no more you. It's about the children once they come forward. And then you're second. I'm going to be honest. You're second. The children are first. Making sure they're good. And then you're second. See, a lot of you young mothers, you haven't come to that conclusion yet. You still trying to put yourself first. You still trying to be heard, trying to be seen, trying to be, acting as though you're by yourself and you're single. And even down to choosing the right father for your child, a lot of that is not thought out. You're choosing fathers for your children, or you're having accidents, mistakes, having babies with people that you have not thought about You know, what would be the long-term effect of you having a child with this person? You haven't thought about that. You haven't thought about, is this person intelligent? Is this person level-headed? Is this person a provider? Is this person is he mature? Is he responsible? Is he logical? Is he older? Usually those type of attributes come with an older man. But a lot of you younger women, y'all not looking to the older men. You're looking to men your age, which is wrong. I said this before and I'll say it again. But you're going with, your peer group goes with what young girls are going with who are still in high school, and by the time you reach your 20s, a lot of you are still in that high school mind frame when it comes to having children, or you have not logically thought about who you're having children with. You're just having children. And these males who you're choosing to be the fathers of your children, they have not been raised to be men. So you're having children with males. So this makes it even harder to produce greater children, because children need a good springboard, a good start-off point to go forward. They need that. They need a good foundation to spring forward from. If they're coming from a foundation where the mother's a chicken head, a thought, whore, slut, baby mama, and all this other stuff, if they're coming from that, and you just should happen to produce a child that is greater just by chance, that child's going to have to go through a lot, because they're going to systematically watch you destroy any good that's in the child. Any intelligence that's in the child is going to be destroyed by its mother, because the mother will try to make the child over in her image and after her likeness. And whether she means to do it or not, whether she means to say, oh, don't do what I do, you are a living example by what you do. You have chosen not to alter your behavior, alter your mentality, alter your maturity level. You have not chosen to do that. You have still chosen to go off of emotion. And emotional females, right, which triggers emotional males, cannot produce great children. This is why you see the children out here the way they are now. They're lost. This is a generation lost, because they have nobody to look to. They don't have any real fathers to look to. They have no example. The boys have no example of a man to look to. They don't have that. The girls have no example of a man to look to when it's time to marry or be with somebody or have children with somebody. So they're just jumping on any random penis at 18, 19, 20 years old, whatever. They're jumping on any random penis, some guy who they think is cute. Next thing you know, they pop up pregnant. Next thing you know, this guy don't want to have nothing to do with them. Next thing you know, they by themselves and they're looking for some new random penis to jump on. Next thing they pop up again, and the cycle repeats itself. Because what happens? The foundation was weak. The foundations from which you're making children is weak. You got people who are not focused on raising the children, not focused on wanting better for the children, because they don't know what better is, number one. And number two, they tend to think that what's better comes from their mindset, which is childlike at best and at worst dangerous, because whenever you have a person who's a certain age and they have not outgrown certain behavior, they have not outgrown certain ways of thinking, they have not matured past a certain point, that's the males and females out here. And what type of children do you think you're going to produce? It's literally like babies having babies. Even if you're 20 years older than that baby, even if you're 30 years older than that baby, you're still immature. You're still immature. If you're still thinking about, what you want and you don't know what you want. A lot of you women don't know what you want. You don't know what a real man is. You don't know, because you've never had one. And so you act out against whatever a real man is, whatever the attributes a real man has who shows up to you or shows up with you. You act out against that. You work against you. And when you work against you, you work against the children. When a child has to see their mother alone and with nobody raising them, that does something to them. There's always going to be a piece of them that's missing. There's always going to be a piece that's lacking in some way, shape, or form. when they don't see their, even if a boy don't see his father there, he's not going to know what it is to become a man. If he sees his father acting other than a man being weak, which is what a son should never see from his father, right? He should never see that. He should never see his father being weak. And keep it in mind, if you women are dealing with these men and you know the weaknesses of these men, right? And you know the weaknesses of yourself, because part of knowing the weaknesses of others, because you women are good for this. You good for talking about how you know the weaknesses of men, how irresponsible, immature, whatever, but you never want to check yourself. You never want to alter yourself. A lot of y'all do this thing where you critique. A lot of you women, you females, you do this thing where you critique men or males, but you never ready to critique yourself. You're not ready for no honest critique of yourself. You're not ready for that. Because you want to point the finger at somebody else instead of pointing it at yourself. Because whatever you have in your life, keep in mind, you attracted that. So if you got an immature, irresponsible male in your life, obviously likes attract alikes on some level that you chose to be irresponsible and immature to even deal with somebody like this. So keep that in mind before you pointing the finger at them and talking about what they do and this, that. But you attracted these people. You brought these people to you. So what does that say about you? What does that say about you? What does that say about the children that you're going to produce going forward? You see? What does that say about the children that are going to go forward, that's going to come out of your lineage? Answer: they're going to be it's going to be less concentration focused on making them greater. It's going to be less concentration because, like I said, when your children come along, all of the concentration should go into them, not into you anymore. It's them now. They represent the future version of you, both of you together in one body. They represent the future version of you. So you would think that you would put them first, not you. Not you. It ain't about you no more. See, when you have children, you give your life to your children. The same way you give life to these children, birth them forward, you give your life to them now. You owe them your life because later on in the future, if you take care of them right, they'll take care of you in the future. They will take care of you. They will make sure you good in your old age. As you become an elder, they'll take care of you. They'll protect you. They'll keep the bloodline and the family and the progeny going forward. They will keep that going forward. But it all starts with how you grow them, what foundation you choose to grow them from, what man are you going to choose, and you men, what women you're going to choose to lay down with and make them. See, that has to be concentrated on before the concentration of the children, before the children even come. The concentration on a man, concentration on a woman. Not saying you got to sit up here and constantly be thinking about, oh, what kind of man I'm going to get, or what kind of man I'm going to get, or what kind of woman I'm going to get, or what kind of woman I'm going to get. What I'm talking about is that should be already thought out already. What type of man you want, what type of woman you want. You see, that should be thought out already. It shouldn't be no, oops, I got pregnant. Oops, my baby coming. You see, that shouldn't be happening. That only happens because, as I said, that you all didn't take time to concentrate on building the foundation to raise children from that great foundation. You didn't concentrate on the connection between the man and the woman. And how do you concentrate on the connection between the man and the woman? Make sure you have things in common. Make sure you think along the same lines. Make sure you want the best for whatever comes from your union. That's how you think. Make sure that he's forward-thinking. Make sure that she's forward-thinking. Make sure that you both want to get together and get along in harmony and get along in harmony and motion together. That there is the ability to move forward with this person. That they're, easygoing when it comes to the forward motion of life, being forward thinking in life, to make sure that, as opposed to dealing with somebody who is mentally immature, weak, right? Who still thinks like a child, who still argues like a child. Because I said this before and I said this again. Children should never see adults arguing. Children should never see adults arguing at all. They shouldn't see that. Why? Because what it promotes in children is their inability to work things out with a spouse, their inability to work things out with a partner, a future companion who they're going to choose. That shows that, because from what they know, what they have acknowledged from their parents, if they grow up remembering their parents arguing, they grow up remembering that the only way a problem got solved is daddy slapped the hell out of mom, or mom called the police, or next the police come to the house and they seeing all this chaos. They're going to think that that's normal. That's how you deal with your companion and your partner. They're going to think that's normal. They're going to think that's normal behavior. It's a problem, call a white man, call the police. You know, they should never see that. That should never be your mindset. Your mindset should always be, I'm going to solve these problems. Your mindset should always be, I'm going to create a solution for this problem. I'm going to make things better. I'm not going to escalate things. I'm going to make them as good as possible. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to let my children see me arguing. There's always a way to talk it out, or I'm going to go somewhere until we can recess, because we are trying to build greater children. We're trying to concentrate on building greater children. Nothing should interrupt. Nothing should interrupt. Nothing should interrupt their evolution and their growth mentally. Nothing. Not your stupid problems, because most of y'all problems are stupid that you argue over. Right? Most of the problems that you men and women argue over are stupid. If you're arguing over money, the answer is make more money. Both of you together figure out a way to make more money. Place too small, get another place. Right? Anything after that disrespect, you shouldn't allow that from each other. Nobody should be disrespecting anybody. Nobody should be arguing about anything. Because again, if you've chosen to be with this person, if you've given years to this person, then all of a sudden to have a meltdown or be emotional, that's not an option. You push past those things for the betterment of the child, especially if a child is involved. You push past those things. See, a lot of y'all are just too cavalier and too casual about throwing away decent relationships that can be worked on. I always say this, right? Because if you are not able to work out immature points in yourself, if you're not able to work those things out, if you're not able to get past your illogical and emotional way of thinking, then what chance does your child have? Answer, nothing. Your child has no chance. Your child has no chance if you're not able to get past these things. Because the child will spend their life growing up with all kind of nonsense in their life. Your children should be only focused on evolving and growing and whatnot, learning, extending themselves, making themselves better, and you're supposed to be the ones who bring that to them. You're not supposed to want in any way, shape, or form to raise your children in a house full of turmoil, arguing, and all kind of stupid stuff if you can help that. If you have a partner that you're able to talk to on some level, then you have to be level-headed enough to talk to your partner as well to make your surroundings and your environment greater for your children, to make them better for your children. You see, so that they can concentrate on producing better children. So that you can concentrate on making greater children. Because see, the ones who want that for their children, you go back, you hear people say, I really saw my parents arguing when I grew up and whatnot. They was always working together and things like that. These people tend to have a healthy outlook when it comes to relationships that they're going to get involved in. They tend to have a healthy outlook. They tend to have a mature outlook when it comes to that. They tend to have a rational outlook. See, the problem is, like I said, a lot of you people have not grown up. You have a lot of unresolved issues that you do not resolve before you start having children. You have a lot of unresolved issues, a lot of mental issues, a lot of emotional issues, right? Things that you're not ready to let go of. A lot of you, a lot of y'all shouldn't even be having no children. I'm going to be honest. Because until you come to some sort of understanding about your behavior and put away childish things and stop with this working against an order or a structure. Because I said this before, there should be no turmoil in a child's life. The only way that you abruptly take apart a family is if a man is beating on you, if he's abusing the children or molesting the children, something like that. That's the only way, or he's just, there got to be something like that. Has to be something like that. That's the only way you break the family up. That's the only way you abruptly break up the family, for something like that. But if that's not the case, and you got children with this person, you owe it to yourself, both men and women, to secure a foundation for those children, a foundation that is stable, a stable environment, a loving environment, a logical and rational environment, a environment that does not include a whole lot of raising their voices and screaming and things like that. Children are not supposed to see that coming out of their parents, because it messes with their psyche. It messes with their concentration. Because, like I said, when people grow up in a stable environment, when they grow up around stable people, parents who are mindful about what they are exposing their children to, what they're allowing their children to see, when they grow up around that, they're going to be better adults. They're going to be greater children and greater adults, because somebody actually gave a damn. Somebody actually gave a damn. See, this generation right here, a lot of their parents don't give a damn. They don't care what they let their children see. They don't care what kind of music they play in front of their children. They don't care that the child has to see mommy and daddy fighting over stupid stuff. They don't care that I'm going to take my baby in the damn street and just be on the street with my baby. You understand that? They don't care about that, because they care about only them being right. And I'm going to be right regardless. Wrong. Absolutely wrong. Men, let your women go out here in the street and take your babies out in the street. You don't let that happen. You don't let your child, it's never no excuse to not see your children and take care of your children in the world. That's never no excuse. Never. You ought to be mindful of who you're making children with. If you say, oh, well, she won't let me see my children, she acting like this, that, and the third, well, guess what? When I hear you men talk about the women like that, I don't touch you no slack, because, again, you chose to have children with this woman. You chose to lay down unprotected and have children with this woman. So, as the old saying goes, you broke it, you bought it. Whatever issues, problems you have, you bought into them, because you didn't have to do that. So now who has to suffer? You could get up and walk away, but now the child has to suffer. The child has to be raised without a father, because you made the wrong choice in who you laid down with, because you were dealing with somebody who was immature. The child has to suffer because the parents are too immature to get past their problems. You taking away from the concentration and the focus of the child, because, again, I swear, a lot of you so-called black people, a lot of y'all just have children just to be having children. I don't give a damn about your children, man. You don't look at them as your future progeny, man. You don't. You just, a lot of you young people, you just, like I said, you men, you just nutting up in the women. You coming up in the women, and that's it. They're just pregnant. You ain't got no plans to raise your children, because you still got the minds of children. A lot of you still got the minds of children, man. You got no plans to raise your children. A lot of you ain't grown up. A lot of you will be up in your 20s, 30s, 40s, still ain't grow up. And then it comes back to bite you in the ass. A lot of you start raising your children on the fly. In other words, oh, I just had a child, so, my girl's pregnant, so I guess I'm going to have to just raise this baby and whatnot, and this and the third. And you could basically tell in how the children are raised. You can tell that they are not raised correctly, they're not raised properly. You can tell when that happens, when that occurs. When the children are not raised properly, they're not raised correctly. You can tell when that occurs. That occurs when the children, you can barely provide things for them that they need that's going to extend their mental growth. Like I said, for the people in the Republic, I said, our children are going to learn how to play instruments, pianos, guitars, things like that. They're going to learn how to swim. They're going to learn how to do martial arts. They're going to learn they're going to watch documentaries. They're not going to be sitting around playing video games and watching cartoons. You know the stupid stuff you do with your children when you really don't want to be bothered with them? The stupid stuff you allow, because that's really the reason why you allow your children to watch stupid TV shows. You allow them to play with video games, allow them to go to stupid schools where they're getting in trouble and whatnot, allow them to be around all types of different people because you're just really trying to get them out of your head. You don't care about them. Why don't you just keep it real? A lot of y'all don't care about your children, man. You don't. Because, again, you didn't mean for them to be here. So you're basically spending the next 18 years trying to keep them out your damn face. You're trying to avoid raising them because you don't really see them as a future progeny. You don't think that way. So you'll let your children have anybody as friends. You don't care who their friends are. You let your children hang out with anybody. You let them do stupid stuff, playing video games, watching TV all day, sometimes being out all kinds of nights. Let your daughters go to parties and whatnot, go out with all kinds of strange guys. You just leave your children out here, man. No protection. No protection. So if they're able, if by some chance they're able to make it through the garbage life that you provided for them, the half-ass life that you provided for them, where you were basically dragging them up, if they're able to make it through that, what do they have that's left? What do they have that's left? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because you want to be proud. Because you want to be proud. Because you can't get past certain things in your mind. You want to talk about things that don't matter. I'm mad. I don't like how this. I don't like what. I don't give a goddamn what you don't like. The time to not like something is when you wasn't with this person. That was the time to not like something, to not be with them. Not when you got children with them. All that like and dislike is out the window. But see, you women got to learn that the hard way. You got to learn that the hard way. If he wouldn't ish, as you say, he wouldn't ish, you should have knew that when you was dealing with him the first year in, 6 months, 7 months in, you should have knew that then. Then you would have made a choice on whether you want to have children with this person, but y'all don't do that. You think with your loins. You think with your private parts. See, like children. You think with your private parts like children. Real men and real women, if they're going to lean into it, if they're going to lean into it with somebody sexually, they are made sure that, listen, if I pop up pregnant, if you father a child with me, if that happens, then goddamn it, I know that I won't mind being your partner. I know we're going to raise good children together. I know that. Worthwhile children together. I know that. See, that's what you're saying. I know that we're going to raise good children together. Worthwhile children together. Strong children together. That's what you're saying. You see, that's how you think. You ain't thinking, this don't work out, or, I'm going to go get an abortion, or, I'm going to just raise my baby by myself. That's the mindset of a lot of you black females, and then you wonder why your children are jacked up. You wonder why they become nothing in the world, because of you. They become nothing because of you. Because you didn't want to concentrate on raising them to be greater. You didn't want to put aside your childish ways and your childish mentality for them to be greater. You didn't want to sacrifice those things. You and the child's father, y'all didn't want to say, we're going to stick together and we're going to raise a child together, because that should never be no option. There should never be no thing where I'm going to have a child with you and I'm not with you. It don't work like that. You men should not allow that. If you put a baby in her, that's your woman. That's your woman. That's your wife. If you put a baby in her. You see? That's your woman. You niggas, y'all too cavalier with, that's my baby mama. I ain't dealing with her and whatnot. Do you know why you niggas are like that? Because you don't think about the child that you put in there. You don't care about the child. That's just something in your mind, really, that's just a mistake. Oh, it's just another one of my kids. But then when another one of your kids end up pregnant, going through the same cycle of madness, going through the same cycle of foolishness and stupidity, your child never grows, then you wonder why. They learn by watching your dysfunction. They learn by watching you. Everything points back to the upbringing. Everything. Everything points back to the upbringing. And I say this to a lot of you so-called black men, you ain't got a goddamn thing to teach your children, man. I see you so-called black men with your sons and things like that. I could look and just tell, y'all ain't got nothing to teach your children, man. You could tell how the children carry themselves. They just out here. You ain't got nothing to teach your children, man. I see it with you, like you black men. And you white men, too. Y'all ain't got nothing to really teach your children. All you men, a lot of y'all ain't got nothing to teach your children for real. You're only going to find a few fathers in this generation, man. You're going to find a few fathers in this generation. A lot of y'all ain't been through nothing. You ain't experienced nothing. You can't teach your child a goddamn thing, man. You will not make good fathers. You see? You don't. You ain't got nothing to teach them. A lot of you still got the minds of children. You think just because you a full-grown man and you can have sex with a woman that makes you a man? No, it don't. It just makes you an overgrown male. That's all it does. You see? In order for your children to be great, there has to be a sacrifice by you for them to be great. In order for your children to be great, there has to be a sacrifice by you. You cannot raise them in the same dysfunction that you grew up in. You cannot. They can't see what you saw. They can't grow up without fathers. They can't grow up without mothers. They need men and women together raising them. That's why I said I get on you women. You better be damn sure you know what you doing, who you choosing before you laying down with somebody. You better know damn well who you choosing. This ain't no game. Y'all playing games, man. Y'all playing games. And if you continue to play games, say goodbye to your future progeny. Say goodbye to your children. Say goodbye to the rest of your life. Because this is truly the end. This will truly be the end. This will truly be the end. I told you all you should be getting together, not based on, because again, that starts off based on what you like, starts off, that's a part of it, what you like in a person. But ultimately, your mindset should always be, I'm getting with this person, I'm laying with this person because I'm going to have children with this person if I'm going to lay with them. I'm not doing casual sex no more. Just like that. Because again, if it's going to be casual sex for those of you women out there, make sure, you men, make sure you got condoms on. Make sure you strap it up. You don't even want her getting an abortion. You don't want to tear your child out of her stomach. Make sure you strap it up. If you don't want to have a child with this woman, if you've been around her all this time and whatnot, you make sure you strap it up. You make sure that you're not gonna mess around and have a baby with somebody who you're gonna regret having a baby with later. Because you already know by just being around a person for a few months what they about. You already know. And if you could be with that person past those few months and knowing what they about, if you could be with that person past that, then you know, and you okay with that, then that's the person for you. That's the person for you. If you could be with that person past that. But if you could be with this person and like years could go by, you ain't getting pregnant from this person, ain't nothing happening with this person, but like I said, but you like attributes to this person, whatever the case may be, then you say, okay, I'm laying with this person, I can have a baby with this person, I could be with this person. And it shouldn't be, I could have a baby with this person if I could be with this person. Because the people you having babies with are the people you're supposed to be with. If you're not going to be with this person, you ain't got no right having no baby with them. Don't have children with people that you don't plan on being with. Do not have children with people that you don't plan on. But I make myself clear. If you're not going to have babies with these people, don't be with these people. Don't even play the boyfriend-girlfriend thing. Because if you lucky enough to be walking around with somebody and, you're talking about boyfriend and girlfriend, y'all having sex together, that should put an end to that. That should be put an end, unless you can't have children no more, your tubes tied, or, that person gonna wear condoms, whatever the case may be. You pass the age of childbirth, that's different. But if you out here, you can still have children, and your years where you could carry children like that safely and healthy. Be careful of who you laying down with. Be careful of who you may produce children with. Be very careful. You see, be very careful of who you may produce children with. If you like this person as a man or as a woman, like I said, y'all already engaging in sex, then it's fine that you have children together. That's fine. Because then the woman is secure enough to know that he's going to get out here and earn and make sure that the children are taken care of, that she's taken care of, that everything is fine. She's going to make sure that the order in the house is kept together. The house is kept together, everything. They're going to make sure of that. You see, if that's not going to be the case, then you're wasting time with people, man. You're playing games. You're going to keep delivering what you're seeing here. A bunch of broken children. Because you look at a lot of these children today, man, they just look like broken they look like broken parts of toys, man. They look broken. They look like a bag of broken kids. That's what they look like, a bag of broken kids. Just out here. Just whatever. If somebody want to take them off somewhere and molest them, take them somewhere and kill them, take them somewhere and do whatever with them, it's just like whatever. Whatever. You see, they get shot in the street, something happened to them, whatever. Like that thing that happened, what's the little boy that got shot, the one was playing with the gun in the park and he got shot by the police? How many, what was the child's name, the one who got shot playing with the toy gun? What was the name of that boy, the little boy that got shot? Well, those of you who remember that, yeah, Tamir Rice. Thank you, Tamir Rice. People got, when they, somebody said something, and it's real. Why is your child in the park by themselves playing with a toy gun? Why? Am I saying that the police was right for shooting them? Of course not. Of course not. Of course they were wrong to shoot a child. But why was your child in the park unsupervised playing with a gun? See, again, that's that cavalier mentality when it comes to raising your children. Black people got a cavalier mentality when it comes to, a lot of you black people, this generation here, got a cavalier mentality when it comes to raising your children. Very cavalier. You don't give a damn. You don't care. You see? Where was his father at? Where was Tamir Rice's father? Did he have a father? You see? You already know, ain't no telling. His mother probably wanted, get him out my face, going outside and play. You know how you black females, going outside, get out my face and play. Then when they turn up dead somewhere, missing somebody and took them, then you're, oh, my baby. This is what y'all do. That's what happened with a lot of that Atlanta child murder stuff. See how easy it was with the Atlanta child murders back in the 80s? See how easy it was just to take those children? See how easy it was? And that happens all over. People just take people's children all over. Just take them, kill them, rape them, do them, never see them again. You know why? Because you didn't concentrate on your children. You didn't care about your children. And after a while, you just, get over it. Because you don't regard them as anything. Because you don't regard yourself as anything. Your bloodline, your seed don't mean nothing. Your bloodline, your seed don't mean nothing. And you're supposed to be producing intelligent bloodline, intelligent seed, intelligent children. That's what you're supposed to be producing. You're supposed to be producing. Not this nonsense out here that you're, like I said, I don't even want to see this generation of children that's going to grow up, that's going to be 25, 30 years old. I don't even want to see them. I don't even want to see them, the ones who in their their teens, their late teens, coming into their 20s. I don't even want to see them. Because you already know they're broken already. They're broken. Because they come from a broken foundation already. They come from immature females and irresponsible males. They come from immature females and irresponsible males. They're broken already. They're already broken. And y'all ain't really you're really not trying to fix them. Your mindset is whatever. A lot of y'all got that whatever mindset when it comes to taking constructive criticism and fixing your children. A lot of you got that whatever mindset. Don't tell me how to raise my children. Don't tell me how to raise. I know how to raise my children. A lot of y'all got that immature mindset. You see, a lot of you are more poison to your children than you are a cure to them. You are more poison to them. You stand in the way of your children being raised because, again, a lot of you are still broken. A lot of you are still immature. A lot of you are still destroyed mentally by your upbringing. A lot of you women, like I said, you don't think that your children deserve the best because you still think it's all about you. Still think it's all about you, so you don't think your children deserve the best. You are goddamn selfish, man. You are selfish. A lot of you so-called black females are selfish, man. Just like you black males are selfish. You are immature and they irresponsible. I and goddamn I. Immature and irresponsible. Both hand in hand. And this was raising babies. This was raising children out here. Y'all might as well hand over your children to the beast already, man. A lot of you might as well hand over your children to the beast. Hand them over for vaccinations. Hand them over for Ritalin or whatever they want to try on your children. A lot of y'all might as well hand over your children. Because a lot of you have already done that already for a check. A lot of y'all don't care about your children, man. Because in order for you to care about your children, that requires you to be adults, to carry yourself like adults, to act like adults. That requires that, and a lot of you are not willing to do that. A lot of you are not willing to sacrifice your childlike ways. That's why it says it's going to have to take greater concentration to produce greater children. It's going to take a strong concentration because, again, to concentrate on not focusing on you, to concentrate on not making about you, to concentrate on not making some foolish nonsense, talking some foolishness, right? Or putting foolish things up over your children. Because once you become parents, like I said, everything that you do from that point is going to be recorded in the minds of your children. They're going to remember those fights. They're going to remember those times in the street. Trust me, I remember. I remember the fights my mother and father had. I remember it all. Over the stuff they argued over. It stayed in my mind. That's why I don't like arguing with women to this day. I don't like arguing with women to this day. I don't like chaos and confusion to this day because of what I saw from time to time with my mother and father. Early. But then I got raised by young parents. You see? But I'm still grateful that my mother and father were in my life, especially my father. We'll be right back as he grew. Children are sponges by nature. And they will absorb everything that they see, especially at an early age. They watch everything you do because they're trying to learn. They're trying to get direction. They're watching everything because they want to learn. They want to know which direction to go in. So they're watching their mothers. They're watching their fathers. They're watching everything. They want to see what direction to go into, what direction should be for them to go into. They're watching. They're paying attention. They're watching everything. They're paying attention to every little detail. You see, everything is being watched. Everything is being dictated to them through you, through your actions. So it's not enough for you to think, oh, I'm not doing this in front of my children. I'm not going to do this, that, and the third. You'd be surprised if they pick up on it, what they can read. Right? So that's why I said when you start having children, right, you do it in a time frame where your mind has matured. And again, for you women, it's in your 20s, man. That's the golden time for you to start having your children in your 20s. Right? 30s too, but especially in your 20s. That's the golden time. for you women to have your children, right? Because you are at your height, that's the time where the children come through and, you know, you're sharp at this point in your life. You're very sharp, right? You're at the height of your sharpness in your 20s. Men, you get a little older and you have to get sharp as time goes on. Men have to develop into fathers. You see, that's why I advise younger men not to be fathers of children early, especially in this generation, because you have so much developing to do. You have to develop into fathers. Women are already naturally ready to be mothers, and when they from the time they start, you know, whether they are effective mothers, that's something else, but usually around the time 18, 19, they go in their 20s, they start going through that life change where their body is making them ready, because they all have different phases of when they do it, where their bodies are making life changes, and when they start making decisions and choices in men, you can usually tell when they start making certain decisions and choices in men, right? That's when their body is starting to sync up with them mentally, because usually around this time they tend to look for men who are a little older, better providers, men who take them seriously, men who are more patient, more intelligent. Like I said, especially providers, men who are going to provide a foundation. They start looking for guys like that. They come out of that stage of dating guys. Oh, you know, that's my boyfriend. This is my boyfriend. You don't have children with your boyfriends. Big mistake. I hear that a lot with this younger generation. They having children with their boyfriends. That's a mistake. You have children with your men. The men who you're going to make your husbands, and the men who are going to claim you as their wives. Whether it's wives or wife. Singular, plural, doesn't matter. You should be claimed as a man's wife, or one of his wives, or however y'all going to work it out. Not as no boyfriend. You see, not as no girlfriend. A lot of you, that's the problem. A lot of you are having children with that boyfriend-girlfriend mentality. And that's what keeps you remaining like boys and girls, little boys and girls who are raising children. You have to be full-on adults mentally to raise children. You have to be full-on adults to realize that, you know what, this is what I signed up for. This is what I'm a part of. This is what I'm going to do. This is the most qualified person I could find to help me raise children, with somebody who's driven. You see, because when you come to that no-nonsense mindset with the person that you're going to partner with to have these children, that's showing that greater concentration is being given to those children early before they even get here. That's being shown that, because what greater concentration, what greater foundation can you give a child than to make sure that the person that you're making them with is solid, mentally solid, emotionally solid, without no emotion, mentally solid, logically solid, decisively solid. That's the best foundation you can give to a child. Anything less than that, you know, it's going to require more concentration. Anything less than that. See, a lot of you young women, y'all forget y'all got children, a lot of y'all, because y'all still think it's about y'all. You still think it's about you. Y'all forget you have children, because you still got a childlike mentality. Children need a great foundation, an even greater foundation, and that's just the beginning. Because now you have to watch over them. You have to make sure they're safe. You have to make sure they're in proper environments. You have to make sure that they are not going to grow up in an environment where they are in danger, where they are afraid, where they are traumatized by mommy and daddy arguing, you know, worrying about where their next meal gonna come from. Are they gonna have a roof over their head? Is things gonna be unstable? They should never know that. They should never know that life. They should never know that life. They should never know that life of, oh, I don't know where my next dollar is coming from. I don't know where the next dollar is coming from. I don't know where the next anything coming from. I don't know. They should never grow up with that. They should always grow up in a house or a home where there is constant and continuous stability. Constant and continuous stability. They should always grow up in a home like that. Never where there's chaos and confusion. Never where there's hearing mommy and daddy arguing with each other about stupid stuff. Because, again, this goes into how they deal with relationships going forward. This is how they're going to deal with relationships. They're going to seek out somebody logical and rational to deal with, somebody they can talk to, somebody they can reason with, somebody who they can rationally have a conversation with that's going to do more than just argue back and forth and all kind of nonsense. They're going to choose a wiser partner, a man who is going to not get them pregnant and just leave them on the side somewhere. See, they'll make wiser choices like that, wiser decisions like that. They will do that. See, this generation, they got a lot to worry about. This generation coming forward got a lot to worry about because they're not providing it for their children. That's not in them to provide it for their children. That's not in their mind frame. That's not in the mental makeup. They're not thinking, oh, I'm going to provide an environment for my children where I ain't got to worry about that. Let me take a call. 786, you're on the air.
Hey, what's going on, brother?
How you doing?
Good. I was going to chime in on what you were saying, man. I believe it's going to get worse soon because I believe that they're going to do universal basic income. You know anything about that?
No, what is it now? Universal what?
They're considering, and this is something that's been talked about for years, but I think now is the time that they might actually do it. Universal basic income, where basically they're going to turn America into a socialist country and people are going to get between $1,500 and $2,000 a month for free. And I believe that is what this stimulus test, this stimulus check we're supposed to be getting soon.
Oh, yeah?
From the Trump administration, how they going to be giving everybody this $1,200 check. Well,
okay.
I think that's a test run. They're going to see how people respond to getting $1,200.
So they're just going to give people money. They're going to just give people money for what? Just to sit home?
Yeah, it's a long story behind it, but from what I understand, they're trying to make America a country full of lazy people who don't think and don't do anything and don't have any type of ingenuity. Because if you give people everything, you get rid of all of the spirit of the people. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And now somebody like yourself or me giving us free money, we'll do something with it and turn it into something great. But the majority of these Negroes and the Europeans and everybody else too, it's gonna turn the society into mush. But look that up. Look up universal basic income.
Okay,
but I bring that up because if that happens, these people are going to they're not going to care who fathers their children or who mothers their children at that point when they know their needs are going to be met. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I get what you're saying. They're not going to really care, black, white, anything in between, as long as they're getting that $1,200 check, right?
Yeah, they say something about that it might be $1,500, $1,800, and then per child, an extra $300 every month per child.
So is this going to be an ongoing? So is this going to be an ongoing thing, or is this going to be something that's here and there?
No, I think they're going to phase it into the society where it's going to be the norm, because they're looking to change America away from straight capitalism to being more of a socialist type of place. And that's what they're using. Well, this is my belief. I don't know the future.
I don't see that. I don't see that. Okay. I don't see. I mean, I'm not saying it can't happen, but and I could understand why they would do that, because getting people into a socialist system and basically giving them what they want they become dependent on it, so then you just take it away from them. So it will never be a time where if anything, it'll be the type of thing whereas the corporations are going to still run things and do stuff. They're going to still do these things. And they'll probably have people working from home and things like this and give them a certain amount of money every month and whatever the case may be to live on. They may do that. That might be the side effect of this whole COVID-19 and get people to stay home and not be all socializing and things and social, just having people staying home more and more and not out in public because, again, that could go into that. The corporations are going to still be going. It's never going to be no straight up socialist society. They'll try to have it where the people on the top, the corporations are running it and running the socialist society. But the corporations ain't going nowhere because America itself is a corporation.
No, absolutely. I agree. No, absolutely. I think they're going to try to do something that probably has never been done before. Some kind of a hybrid between capitalism and socialism in some kind of way.
Oh yeah. Well, they already been doing that. Why you think? Why you think they introduced welfare, Section 8, WIC, all that social programs? They was trying to do that. See, when they do stuff like that, when they introduce that, because all that stuff came about in the 40s after World War II. I think the welfare system and all this other stuff. All those are socialist. Those are socialist. Social. What do you call them? Social programs. All that was, feeding welfare and food. That's all social programs.
And you notice once they gave black folks that welfare, black ingenuity kind of way downhill.
Oh, of course.
So they want to do that to the whole society, though. They want to do it to the white people.
Well, I could get why they would do something like that, but I can see that. But it ain't gonna never. The corporate thing ain't gonna never. It's never gonna go anywhere. The corporate setup is not going anywhere. Like you said, it'll be a hybrid, but that and it'll take away people's want and the desire to get money and be successful with anything. It'll take away from that.
Exactly. When it'll stop the great minds from wanting to be great because you look around and you see all these other people who ain't, they ain't nothing, but they're able to get paid too. You know what I'm saying? It'll kind of make people lose their drive.
Well, a lot of these people ain't got no drive anyway. So I don't see it as a good or bad thing. It is what it is. And I don't see it as good. A lot of these people ain't got no drive to do nothing for real anyway. Because if you just driven by money, then that's really not nothing to be driven by. Money's nothing to be driven by.
I agree.
You see?
Yeah. I just brought that up because what you talk about. So if something like that happens, man, a single parent household is gonna go to 100%. I'm telling you.
Okay, well, hey, it is what it is. They'll pay for it later. Yeah. They're going to pay for it later. They probably want that with the so-called black woman. You know what I'm saying? They want her to not have no father in the home. You know what I'm saying? They got a lot of plans on the thing like they'll have the so-called black man, they're going to make prison more. They're going to make prison more, they're going to make it more livable for black men. Watch.
Yeah.
Private corporations. They're going to make, you're not going to really see them making prison hard like that because they figure if they make prison hard like that, people ain't gonna want to go. You see, they'll fight their way to stay out of prison. But how do you make prison more appealing? You basically, you got caught doing a crime, you're gonna do 20 years, but you're gonna work for the prison corporation. You're gonna be digging ditches or whatever they got you doing because you're gonna work, and they'll hire you out to the state. And they'll make it whereas you could see your woman could come in, she give you some sex, and you can see your children. They might let you send some of your money that you make, the little measly money that you make being, doing your day labor. They'll send it out to your woman. You'll keep some on your commissary. You know what I mean? People gonna go for that. They're gonna be cool with that.
They're gonna give a video game in the cell.
Of course. Cable. They already got cable setting up. They set up the cable in the prison. They niggas can watch cable, go on internet. What else they need? That's like summer camp to niggas.
Exactly.
That's but for 20 years,
Exactly.
20 years summer camp. You know?
Yep. But I ain't gonna keep you, man.
Hey.
I'm listening.
All right.
All right.
Thank you. Oh yeah, that's coming. You know, a lot of you guys, y'all gonna be good with that. A lot of you guys gonna ain't gonna have no problem going to jail as long as they make it livable for you. You know, like children. Like children. And again, your children will be sacrificed in the society. As you locked up in jail, you chilling and all this other stuff, your children will be sacrificed. We'll be right back. Think about your children. Think long and hard about your children and what it means to have them. See, because children are truly a blessing. Children are a blessing. To be able to have them and continue your bloodline forward is a blessing. So you want to think about the type of children you have going forward. You want to think about that. You want to think about the type of children you have going forward. You don't want to have any type of children with any kind of people. You want to think about that. You want to make sure that you are having the best children with the best people that the Most High can offer. Because we're all offered that in our lives. We're offered someone greater. We're offered somebody better. We're offered someone on a higher level to bring forth greater seed, greater progeny, greater bloodline. And like I said, we only get one chance to mess up. We can't keep messing up. We only get one chance. Right? How they say, you only get one chance to make a first impression. You only get one chance. So we have to be mindful of the impressions we make, the genetic impressions, right? Meaning genetic material impressions. Because when somebody makes an imprint in your bloodline, when they make an impression on your bloodline, that's a very serious thing. You see, that's very serious. For you to allow someone to make an imprint or an impression in your bloodline is a very serious commitment that you're making. It's you saying that I trust you. I trust you and I trust what you're going to put inside of me. I trust what you're going to give me. And the man is saying, I trust what you're going to give me in return for what I put inside of you. You see, this is what you're saying. This is what you are in alignment with. So you must be mindful of this, because in being mindful of this, you've already started on the path of producing children of a greater concentration, children of a greater bloodline, children of a greater seed. You see, you've already started on that path of producing that. You've started on that righteous path of producing that, because that is truly a righteous path to go down. That is truly a righteous path to go down, to be able to have the best father, the best mother for your children. Because we have them for, the most important time and whatnot in their life, their developmental stage. The developmental stage from the time they're born to the age of 20, 21 years old. This is the time our parental guidance goes into effect. Even 18 to 21, all that, it goes into effect. So when they're able to go out into the world on their own, supervised properly, getting with somebody that's supposed to be about community. See, and again, this is the reason why we need community. This is exactly why. See, because if we had community, we would know who we were marrying. We would know who we were getting with. Right? We wouldn't have these type of problems in community. We would be in communion with one another to produce better seed, better bloodline, better progeny. Because it's all being done in the community. When you have that community setting in which men and women are meeting each other, linking up, deciding to have children, you know that we are on the same page, on the same wavelength, on the same mindset when it comes to having children. We think the same, we move the same. That's how we're supposed to be in a community. That's another reason why the Republican intellect has to be. The Republican intellect has to be as a foundation to breed better children. This is here to breed better children. Because what we're doing in sectioning ourselves off, becoming part of the community, we are sectioning ourselves off. We're saying we're not going to breed our children amongst the black race. We're going to breed them amongst the bright race that are going to be in the Republican intellect. And when I say the bright race, I mean those who are coming out of the black race. I don't mean no mulatto, mixed race, white. No, I mean those who are coming out of the black race as the brighter ones, as the bronze ones. We have to breed our children within the community. We have to live this community life. We ain't here just trying something out and trying it as an experiment or if I don't like it, I'm going to just go ahead and leave. And again, you are the ones who are going to raise your children in this state of chaos and confusion. Because again, they should have a breeding pool. They should have a breeding pool that is limited, that is not as broad as not as broad as the greater populace. Because the more and more selective you get in your breeding pool, like if you say, okay, you got to choose a child, you got to choose a man or a woman from the community, they already know that already. That means they're going to get top quality people because we all being raised by the same way of thinking, the same mindset. We know each other's parents. The parents know each other. We all know what our children are listening to, what they about. So there's no problem with that. When you are not in alignment with somebody, you don't know how they were raised, who raised them. Again, you just getting with people because I like you, you cute. No, you don't know how they were raised. You don't know what their genetic material is like. You don't know what influences they had. You're just getting with anybody and having children. And in doing that, it's a crapshoot. It's a crapshoot. You don't know the mindset of this man that you laying down with. You don't know how he regards you. Y'all don't think about that. You so-called black females, y'all don't think about that. Or you thinking about, oh, he cute, I like him, I'm feeling him, I want to have sex with him. Us, right? I'm pregnant. Oh, maybe should I get an abortion? Should I keep it? If I keep it, is he gonna? You're not even thinking, oh, is he gonna be with me to raise the child? Should I keep it? Because now you got this mindset where you're not thinking as a mother, you're thinking as somebody that's got a goddamn doll baby. I raised her, she gonna be cute, or he gonna be cute. I'm gonna put clothes on him, and that's gonna be my little baby, my little man. And if his father is like, oh well, if he not, oh well, that's your mentality. Like a child. Like a child. A child raising children. Person with a childlike mentality raising children. Like I said, people with childlike mentalities don't sacrifice for their children. And this is why a greater concentration will have to go into producing greater children because, again, parents are going to have to make that sacrifice. They're going to have to sacrifice their childish ways. They're going to have to sacrifice their childish and indecisive way. And they're going to have to make clear-cut decisions on what type of people they're going to lay with, what kind of children they're going to raise. Y'all not doing that. You just laying down, screwing, and if you should pop up pregnant, oh well. Oh well. Do I get an abortion? Do I let the doctor go in and tear up my body? Or do I keep this child and raise it like a goddamn doll baby? Putting little clothes on her till it ain't cute no more. Till she don't grow up, she ain't a baby no more. She ain't cute no more. Then she got to go to junior high school, and more and more you get more and more disenchanted because now you got to go through raising them by yourself. Now she's out here looking at you, and y'all got this mother-daughter rivalry. You ain't raised her right enough. That's the mentality. Because men are disposable to you. Women are disposable to you because y'all ain't worth a goddamn. You're not worth a damn. Because you were raised by people that weren't worth a damn. So you don't regard your children's life as anything special. You don't care. I told you I look and see how these young girls are walking the street with their children, letting the child run all ahead of them and whatnot. Children can run in the damn street. They don't care. They on the damn cell phone. That shows you the sign of the times and who's raising who. They're not concentrating on the children. They're not interested. They interested more in the damn cell phone and whatever chick they talking to, some hole in the head nigga they talking to. about nothing. Lord help him. Amen help him. Let me go and read these questions before we get out of here. What will it take? What will take more? Why will it take more concentration to produce greater children? Because again, the mindset of this generation is off, out of alignment with the state of evolution of where we're supposed to be going. It is out of alignment with Amen. They're not dealing with Amen. They want to follow the beast. They want to act like him. They want to get caught up in his things and whatnot. This is why they children are off. So it's useless to talk to the mass majority of black people. Just forget it, man. What's going to be is what's going to be with their children. Maybe, hopefully, Amen puts it on the children to come out of that. But good luck with that. What are greater children? Greater children are children who are focused on a bigger picture of extending the bloodline, the progeny, and being greater within themselves, accomplishing all that they were meant to put here to accomplish, fulfilling their full potential. Because children are supposed to be an asset, not a liability. And a lot of you, how y'all raise your children, you raise your children as goddamn liabilities, man, every day. Whether they're going to be locked up in jail, or they're going to be on the damn welfare, or Section 8, or whatever the hell, just what you raise your children as. Every time you choose the wrong mates, every time you make it about you, every time you want to have a meltdown, all this nonsense. Grow up. Should children be raised freely? No, they should not. They should be raised in controlled environments. Children should be raised in controlled environments, i.e. communities. Communities. They should be part of communities. That's why the Republican intellect is here. It ain't meant to just raise people. It's meant to raise the children as well, because they are the future people. We are living this life of intellect. We are here to live this. This ain't something we trying. This ain't something where, I don't like it, I ain't going to be. No, we live in this for our family, for our children, for the greater community. See, that's something black people haven't gotten into their thick skulls. That's why nothing will ever work for them. This is why their children will not evolve, because they don't have a way of life to evolve them by. But we're going to give it to our children. What degree of concentration should be applied to the children? The most excessive degree, very excessive, meaning that the children should always have activity. They should always be protected. They should never be allowed to mix freely with black children, white children, or any other race of children, just a bright race within the community. That's it. That's all they should be able to congregate with, is those children within the community. Nobody else, not your family members, nobody. The black, you don't want that black rubbing off on your children. What does this mean in the future evolution of the children? It means everything. It means everything. It means their very survival. And that's it. And their lives. So we're going to close out the name of Amen by the power of Amen. In Amen we trust, and Amen we think, and in Amen we continue forward forever. I am the intellectual NUBEN MENKARAYZZ. This has been Mentellect Radio. We'll be back here tomorrow at 10. Good night.
Rising out the black race to the bright race, out the black race to the bright race. It's the Republic of Mentellect, black race to the bright race. If it's hell, Amen, then it's hell us. They tried everything just to spell us. Fed us religion, gave us fake gods. Through all of that, we beat the odds. Now we coming together under one flag. Colors red, gold, and blue. Superman, Superwoman, that's me and you. The infinite capabilities that we can do.